Hey guys, AuspiciousAussie here, and welcome to episode 1 of the Local to Global. Super excited to get into this one today. We are going to be with Rocky Mountain Wrestling, as you can see here. I've done a little bit of stuff off camera just to get the series up and running. But first things first, if you guys can hit 100 likes on this first episode, I will do a double upload tomorrow. So episode 2 and episode 3 will come out tomorrow. 100 likes. I don't usually do this, but I want to set a target for you guys. Been absolutely smashing the support recently. And another thing to mention is if you go to the description, there is an affiliate link that you guys can help me out with. You buy the game. You're going to buy the game already. We know how it goes. And it does actually support the channel. And it shows Great Oak Software that you guys, support me as a creator. Doesn't cost anything. Obviously, there's no real sort of discounts in there either. But at the same time, it allows you guys to get the game, and it allows me to, I guess, be recognized by Great Oak Software that I have viewers and that I'm a decent creator. Anyway, enough about that. Rocky Mountain Wrestling, we had the announcement video. Really looking forward to getting into this one. Local to global, back sort of where I belong. You guys have been recommending it like crazy, pretty much since the last series sort of finished. So yeah, recently even on the TCW live streams for the beta, people have been saying, "Are you going to do a local global?" And here we are, first series straight off the release, and we're in here with Rocky Mountain Wrestling. So my character here that I've chosen is Pistol Pete Hall, very much a Japanese, I guess, legend. You'd probably say. He retired back in 2015. He's 60 years old. Very much an old school type worker. I'll show you his skills here, obviously. Doesn't really have any proper in-ring skills, but really good basics, really good psychology. Pretty good on the microphone as well, so he's not too bad. Business skills only 45, booking reputations 58, and then booking skill of 68, so not too bad. And yeah, retired as a result of knee injuries, as you can see here. And yeah, it was actually BCG's first ever, if I can find it here, it was their first ever champion. And his name value was one of the reasons why BCG were able to survive those difficult first years. So very happy with him. Obviously, he's probably more of a Texan, if that makes sense, but it would make sense that maybe he retired to Wyoming, which is where Rocky Mountain Wrestling is from and based out of, as you can tell by the thumbnail of the beautiful Rocky Mountains there. And yeah, he's going to be our player character. Didn't want to obviously go for a worker. I think that's a bit cheesy. He's expensive though, but he will be, at the moment it only says personality, but we'll be changing that to a road agent as well. So yeah, very happy with that. Another thing I've done is events. They've pretty much auto-populated. I've changed a couple of them. So we've got King of the Mountain, which is going to be a multi-man match main event, primarily for the heavyweight title. We've got Lockdown, which is our product essentially only lets us do like steel cage matches. They don't really want us going too hardcore. So Lockdown will be a steel cage main event. And then our big sort of WrestleMania all-in type big event, big pay-per-view is going to be RMW Hitting the Peak. So Hitting the Peak will be our big sort of event. Probably change it to our season finale down the line as well. But I really like it. I like all these events. Some of them we might change over the course of it. Our first event is going to be Up in Flames. But yeah, so I've done a few things so we can sort of get straight into it, get rocking and rolling. Yeah, so we've got $0 available as per local to global rules. We've got 0 prestige, 0 momentum. We had no workers. We also have 0 popularity across every region. So we currently have no popularity anywhere in the world. We're insignificant size, and obviously we're going to try and go up to the biggest size in the game. Other things to mention, I have started making signings. So I've signed a referee. Well, I haven't actually signed them yet because we haven't advanced. But here we go. These are going to be our first signings. I've decided to go for 10. I was originally going to go for 8 workers. But I think 10 will be the sweet spot. Coach Norman is going to be our referee. He's not too bad. Not too bad. He's got 59 refereeing. He is Canadian as well, so obviously Rocky Mountain Wrestling is both United States. It's United States based, but then it also has elements from Canada as well, which I thought was the perfect company for us to go with. Obviously, we have our own local to global roots with the Canadian Wrestling Coalition. And honestly, I just feel like if we can go back to Canada and try and beat CWA in some aspect, I think that'll be a success. I think we should be able to do it here with RMW. So yeah, Coach Norman coming in. I'm going to go with Astro. I think he's a good signing. Very much a high flyer, but very good star quality. Obviously lacking a little bit in the basics and the psychology department, but I think we can do good things with him. Didn't want to sign too many high flyers, but I signed Astro, which led to me signing Blue Dragon as well. He's a 22-year-old American, again, fast wrestler, very similar size, same sort of style, probably a little bit more technical based, and obviously slightly better with better psychology and a lot better basics. But I feel like Astro and Blue Dragon could probably be a tag team together, a nice face tag team, and they can probably do some work. I guess maybe not at the start of the game, but very early on if we have tag team titles and we implement them straight away. Up next, fan favorite. He's probably he's the only signing I've made that actually works for another company. That is Hideo Kato. He works for Pro Wrestling Sideshow. He's a favorite. We've had him on previous series on 2020. He's an absolute workhorse. Very, very talented. What else can I say about him? He's like the perfect all-rounder. Good psychology, good basics, really good sort of brawling and technical ability. He's just very good. Fundamentals are perfect. He's only 25. Good personality as well. And I can honestly see him probably being the heavyweight champion, if not a true competitor to our heavyweight champion. Up next, we've got Harvey Robinfield. I just like Harvey. I think he's also really good. Similar sort of mold to Hideo Kato. And yeah, he'll probably find himself up the top of the card. He's pretty big, 6'4", 240 pounds. Party Animal, which I wasn't too happy with, but he was also unattached. And I've sort of gone for all workers that are unattached with some familiar names in there as well. So Harvey Robinfield, someone I've never actually used, so I'm pretty happy to get him in. We've then got Jason Patterson, 22-year-old American, the Oklahoma Thunderbolt. Yeah, basically just he looks like an old school type of kid, 6'3", 256 pounds. He's quite old school. He just wears plain black trunks and boots, and gives him a pleasingly throwback feel. So he looks good. Pretty much just a brawler. That's all we need. Little low on the psychology, but that's perfectly fine. And he can speak on the mic as well. So I'm pretty happy with that, as it's something we're going to need down the line once we get onto TV. So happy with him. Also happy with Jules Knight. This one was actually recommended to me in the announcement video. And Jules Knight, very much a technical wrestler if I show you his skills here. Really good basics, good psychology, and then 67 technical ability. So he doesn't have the entertainment skills, which is perfectly fine for now. But it might be an issue in the future. And then he also doesn't have the star quality either. But yeah, very good worker, very good technique worker, and yeah, should do a really good job for us as well. I believe he's a heel, so he also keeps kayfabe, which is good. Yeah, better a heel. Marketing nightmare apparently, but that's perfectly fine. Up next, we've got another throwback to the original Local Global series. We've got Original Sinner coming in, slightly better than he was. And obviously, I really like that photo of him there, that render. So psychology is still really bad, but I think just looking at it on a first glance, those fundamentals are looking a lot better than they did previously. He's also got 70 star quality, 90 menace. We can use menace angles in the future, especially once we get on TV. Got professional personality type. He's perfect, to be honest. Perfect for us. The next one is one that I've never seen before, Phil Anders. the sort of ginger 18-year-old. Like his moustache as well. But he's 6'2". He's the Nebraska stud. So he's a young worker from the Midwest. And just looking at him, he's a natural actor that can play a smug, self-absorbed heel perfectly. And if we show you his stats here, not too much in the primary skills. Got 52 psychology, which I think is pretty decent for an 18-year-old. Obviously, we need to work on his fundamentals a little bit. But I see him as being sort of the lower mid-card heel for us in the near future. 61 star quality, very good charisma, pretty good entertainment stats as well with his microphone and acting ability. I'm happy with him. I think he looks really good. Definitely one for our future. Up next, another familiar face. We got Primetime Jack Pride, baby. He comes back. Young worker out of Minnesota. I mean, he's already had a pretty decent career prior to us starting the series. I say that. He was another one from local to global with the CWC. Incredibly good worker. As you can see here, he's been widely tipped to become a future star. And if I show you his skills, you can see why. So, a little bit low on the basics and the psychology, but good technical, good brawling. And then you look at his performance skills, and that is where Jack Pride stands out. 83 star quality for Jack Pride. And then his entertainment stats are pretty much out of this world for an unattached 21-year-old worker. So very happy to get him in. And then finally, we've signed Texas Hangman, or we're going to be signing Texas Hangman, who is a big 6'7", 344-pounder. Just wanted another sort of big man in there. And I'll probably make Texas Hangman a face. And as you can see here, he's only been a heel for his entire career, and it might be a baby face turn that he'll find the most success with. I think him versus Original Sinner, they could have some seriously good matches. But as you can see, Texas Hangman, very similar to Primetime Jack Pride, except he's got a lot better fundamental and physical skills. He's got that 77 star quality, but he can also cut a promo as well. And if he can't cut a promo at a high level, he can probably fall back on his menace. So I think all round for a big man, Texas Hangman is going to be very, very good for us. But yeah, so that is that. I'll show you the product here very quickly. I did show it previously. Only thing I've changed is face and heel divide, purely for the fact that we are such a small company and we're only going to have 10 workers, hopefully. I've changed that to loosely enforced. We might change it back. Probably not. I like to play with loosely enforced for most of my saves and series that we do here on the channel. So we'll keep that. Events are going to have to be 95% matches with only 5% angles. So I feel like we're probably going to get through quite a bit on this first episode. I want to have like a 40-minute, 45-minute episode. And we're only at, what, 15 now, 13 now? So it's going to be decent. Anyway, basically, it's an old school, back to the golden age pro wrestling type product. So it's very much against hardcore and obviously very much favoring just a normal type match, if that makes sense. It will be attractive to sponsors. I didn't actually see that before. And the economy will have a significant impact upon merchandise sales. So with merchandise sales being mentioned, I have also rapidly started to upgrade our merchandise as well. One of the most important things you can do for a local to global is rapidly upgrade your merchandise, because that's going to be big income, a big earner for you, especially early on. So make sure you guys do that if you are playing local to global. Some people might just do normal upgrades. I always go rapid. You're going to go into debt no matter what. So I feel like as soon as you can push your income providers, such as merchandise, such as ticket sales, as soon as you can push those as hard as possible, you should be doing so, in my opinion. That's the way that I play. That's the way I played the previous local to global. So we'll be trying to get that up as quick as possible. So it's going to be 25% progression per week. So we should be up to level 2 at the end of this month. So looking forward to that. As you can see here, we are required to run at least one storyline that's rated hot or above. So that's going to be fairly difficult to do with a brand new company with no momentum, no prestige, and zero popularity across every single region in the game. Also, I'm not sure if we actually need a commentator. If we'll probably be getting penalties on that. I don't think it's going to be all that necessary for us because I want to try and save money. We've essentially got 4 weeks until that next event, I believe. I'm not 100% sure. It says the 23rd of January, which is here. Obviously, the new system for the months is that months actually have the correct amount of days now. So it's going to be pretty complicated. I feel like we're going to have some months where there's less events potentially or less TV shows. Technically, the positioning is the fourth Sunday of the month every year. Looking at that, it wasn't actually the well, it is the fourth Sunday, but there's a further Sunday inside of January. So yeah, it's going to be difficult to sort of keep a track on that. But the events are all going to be an hour long. I've already standardized that as well, so we can get in and get firing. Is that all I need to talk about? No. Ticket prices. So another hint for you guys starting your local to globals. You must do it. I cannot implore you enough. Change your event ticket pricing to free. It will allow you to gain more popularity. You will get more fans to your shows early on, which will increase your popularity, and therefore you'll start to make more money. You need to pretty much make as much popularity in the first year as you possibly can. And after that, you can then put the ticket pricing back to normal, like that, save that, and then after that first year, you'll pretty much be running a profit, or at least that's how it was on 2020. So I'm going to run with a similar mindset to that, and yeah, I guess we're going to get straight into it now. So let's advance a week, and we shall see who we can get in out of all those 10 signings, or 11 signings, including the referee there as well. Oh, so excited. And like I said, guys, if you don't have TW9 yet, make sure you click the link down in the description below. It'll take you over to the purchasing page, and you can pick yourselves up a copy of TW9. So impressed with the game at the moment. I'm very, very happy with it. The new features are absolutely awesome. But here we go. Astro, first through the door. Let me just check everybody. I want to make sure that we're putting faces as faces and heels as heels if they're suited to those roles. So Astro, he's not really suited to anything, so we'll put him as a face for now. Probably the same thing here with Blue Dragon as well. Oh, passes on knowledge. That's pretty good. World Traveler as well. Obviously, he's only 22, so it's going to be quite some time before he's passing on any of his knowledge. So face for him. I think Patterson looks like a face to me, but I'm not 100% sure. I always feel like faces are somewhat hard to come by. And with his old school feel, I feel like he would be a face. I think Jules is a heel. Jack Pride is also a heel. So let's go face there for Patterson. Jules Knight will be a heel, I'm pretty sure. Let me just double check that. Don't want to make any silly mistakes here. Better as a heel. Perfect. So heel there for Jules Knight. Then we got Jack Pride. I know for a fact that Jack Pride is a heel. And then this is the interesting one. So, like I said, Texas Hangman, he is always, or he has been, a heel for his entire career so far. Do we bring him in as a heel? He also has a temper, which I didn't realize and I don't really like, but I think he's just that good that we pretty much have to put up with that at this point. I think we'll go face. I think he's going to be like an almost pseudo face where he's a tweener going back and forth. Like he'll do some, let's say, underhanded stuff while being a face. He's not a true baby face, if you will. So we'll go face there. TEW is probably going to be a face. I think Robin Field, we might go heel. Doesn't really say if he's a heel or a face. I know Original Sinner is better as a heel. He's 100% a heel, so that works out well. And then Anders is also going to be a heel. So, yeah, TEW, face, these three, once we get him in, will be heels. Perfect. Let's advance maybe another 7 days if we can. I'm liking the signings that we've made so far. There's going to be plenty more. We've only got 10. I think 10 might even be too small for the next size, which we need 17 popularity to get. So there it starts. We are already 140 in debt. Lovely. All right. Got more workers signing. We've got Coach Norman, the referee, coming in. We'll make him a face. Gideon Kato will also... Actually, let me check Gideon. He can play either, so that's good. I think I will make him a face. Like I said, we can actually do face versus face and heel versus heel because it's only loosely enforced, which was the change that I made to our product. But here's Harvey Robinfield coming in as a heel. Obviously, Original Sinner coming in as a heel. And finally, Phil Anders, probably the only actual new worker on the game that we've actually signed. Let me just double check that. Is Blue Dragon, I think, yeah, he's 4 years. I think everybody else is also already been in the game. I don't know about Phil Anders, actually. He might have been in the previous game as well. Not really going to tell me when he started, is it? One thing we should do here is we're going to make Pistol Pete a road agent. Can I not make myself a road agent? It'd be nice. So I have to actually have a talk with myself. I think I do. That seems a bit ridiculous, but anyway. Okay, so we can now do road agent. Does he have any... I was going to say color commentary or announcing, but no, he doesn't. Okay. So he's now a road agent. We'll get that switched on as well. If I can click on there. Okay, perfect. So on-screen personality, and he's also going to be a road agent. I sort of see him as a Dutton from Yellowstone. I see him as like sort of the leader, and obviously Wyoming. I feel like it's pretty similar. And yeah, he sort of got the look. So there we go. I don't know. I'm just trying to develop things in my head. Everybody looks like they've got a gimmick. No, Blue Dragon needs a gimmick. Okay, so what do we got for Blue Dragon? Attributes. He's a comedy match worker. It's probably not what we want. Plays mysterious occult well. Let's go with that. Either that or underdog. All right, let's give him a gimmick. Because if you don't have a gimmick, you're going to be heavily penalized. So let's go Weasley underdog first. I mean, we got an old school heel. I mean, we should probably put face disposition on there. And we got nothing. So mysterious occult. We've got nothing for that either. Let's go any basis, shall we? And what have we got? I mean, we've got dragon. I mean, it's a literal dragon who takes human form. And it's gimmicky cartoonish, which I think is penalized. I think that's penalized. Let me go back and check our product real quick. but I think they are penalized. The comedy segments will be penalized, but what about comedy gimmicks? Not 100% sure on that. It doesn't say anything there. Interesting. Okay. Maybe we try it. I'll see if there's anything else that maybe suits him a little bit more. Let's have a look. Let's have a look. Maybe exotic, bizarre one. It's more to do with gender identity. Maybe not. Mythological creature again. Gimmicky, cartoonish. They're pretty much all gimmicky in some way, shape, or form. Let's just go happy-go-lucky. Yeah, it's fine. I feel like Blue Dragon would be happy-go-lucky anyway. Instead of giving him an actual, literal dragon gimmick. Let's not do that. I think, does everybody else have a gimmick? No, Gideo Kato also needs a gimmick. Plays badass or legitimate well. So let's try and give him a badass or legitimate gimmick. Let's go for badass. I mean, he's essentially a badass. He can just have a badass gimmick. I mean, I see Raging Bull's probably what I see Gideo Kato as. Literally willing to fight anyone. So let's run with that. It's gonna be the Raging Bull Gideo Kato. Hitting people with lariats left, right, and center. Alright, so I think everybody else has a gimmick, if I'm not mistaken now. We need to give Coach Norman a gimmick? I don't know. I probably should, but I won't. Yep, everyone else has got a gimmick. Perfect. Alright. Well, we're pretty much ready to go. So, our next event is in 19 days. Let me just double check. Ticket prices are free. Perfect. We've got no inner circle yet. Probably not gonna worry about it too much. I wonder if I can I put myself as a chief enforcer? Negative. Okay. Interesting. I wonder if pretty much everyone at this point is a ill-suited chief enforcer, so we won't worry about that too much. Senior road agent. Can I put myself as the senior road agent? I don't think so. Okay. Well, in that case, we shall just continue. Yep, let's continue. All right, let's get into it. We may as well get into our first show, really. I'm not sure if we'll create the title yet. I don't think we will. I think I want to save that for King of the Mountain, which is our February event, our second event. I think that's probably what I want to do because I want to have that multi-man match. I want to have like a 5-man or a 6-man, 5-way match or a 6-way match. I think that'd be a pretty cool way to implement our first ever heavyweight champion. Like I said, we are in the announcement video. Under normal circumstances, Rocky Mountain Wrestling would be a part of the Confederation of the Territory. We are not. I obviously switched that off along with everything else because it's essentially a beneficial alliance that can help you with local to global. I think usually you're not supposed to have any type of alliance. As a result of me playing, the fact that I want to play sort of true to Rocky Mountain Wrestling, if we are able to be accepted into the Confederation of the Territories, we will join. So I'm not against joining it. I just wanted to turn it off at the start to make the challenge as hard as possible. So we essentially have to try and get in there ourselves, and we have to try and see if we, I guess, have the product, and we're a sort of small based company that sort of allows us to become a confederation, a part of the confederation of the territories, and then we can obviously do some cool stuff with that, hopefully down the line. But I think at the moment we need to get our minds focused, and we need to focus solely here with RMW and just start out growing the company, which is what these first 3 episodes are probably going to be. I think after maybe episode 3 or 4, we should probably be at a decent level, maybe even going up in size. So it's not going to take us too long. I haven't really thought about who I'm going to make the heavyweight champion yet either. It's going to be interesting. I've shortlisted a few other workers as well. So we've got a little bit of a backlog of workers. So something that happened very early on with Local to Global on 2020 was that I signed a lot of the cheapest options, which is what we've done now. However, I think probably half of them had really, really bad personalities, and it just absolutely destroyed the locker room backstage. So we pretty much had to get rid of everybody and more or less started fresh, which put us into a big hole to an extent. I think we kept maybe 1 or 2 workers, and that was it. And then got rid of like everybody else in order to revitalize that backstage rating. I'm really hoping that doesn't happen again. And I think based on who was signed, I think we should be fine. It is something we're going to have to really sort of monitor as well. We'll have to wait and see what happens. As long as we're sort of using people, they shouldn't really be getting upset. That is another setting that I'm tempted to change. I'm going to leave it on for now though, and that is workers complaining for being left off shows. You can actually turn that off, which is good. You can also give workers the night off as well, which is a new feature on TEW9. So again, something to think about. Do I know exactly who we're going to use? Not really. We're probably going to want about 4 matches on a show. I think on this first show, we'll probably do 4 singles matches. So there might be 2 workers that don't actually get used on this first show. And again, we do want to try and keep costs down as much as possible. So if we're not using 2 extra workers, we're essentially saving $60, which is not a massive thing, but I mean, you saw how much we already went into debt there. That's primarily because of the merchandise rapid upgrade that we're paying for, which is very expensive. But it's something that's necessary. Like I said, you take a bit of a hit at the start of the game to then have a much quicker level of income coming into the company. All right, here we go. What do we got? Merchandise upgrade. Successfully upgraded to amateur level. Oh. Okay, disregard. So Blue Dragons actually joined WLW on a handshake touring deal. I thought that was going to be a written deal there for a second. Anyway, with that said, we are up in flames. So our first event is here. We need to create storylines as well, which we'll do here in a second. But what else have we got to do? So merchandise, we need to start upgrading once again, rapid towards level 3. And yeah, we're pretty much ready to get into it. So let me go storylines. We need to sort of work out I'm thinking we just run 2 storylines, and we just put in, how many faces have we got? Actually, it looks pretty good with a face and heel divide. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. It's perfect. How have I managed to do that on the get-go perfectly? First go round. We got 5 faces, 5 heels. So what we'll do, I think the better workers will lump together in one storyline, and then the not as good workers will lump together in another storyline. And then we might even chuck in like Pistol Pete Hall and Coach Norman, maybe into their own storyline potentially. I wonder if that'll actually work. Anyway, so let's have Astro, Blue Dragon, and they can go in with, I think maybe Jules Knight and Phil Anders. That'll be, I guess, RMW. Let's call it storyline 1. I'll do like a maybe mid-carders. And then we'll start that storyline, add a new storyline. We'll add the same thing, storyline 2, and we'll make this sort of maybe main eventers. So for main eventers, we'll essentially add in everybody else. So Gio Kato, we'll go Harvey, we'll add Jason, and we'll add Primetime. And then we can add in Original Sinner and Texas Handman as well. Look at him. I wonder if I might take Jules Knight out of there and put Original Sinner in there. Potentially. But let me add in those guys. So Sinner and Texas Hangman. And then we'll go a third storyline, just in case, and we'll call this one maybe Staff. We'll just call it Staff for now. And Coach Norman and Pistol Pete Hall. Perfect. We can actually do that. So they're essentially going to be in every single match. So I'm hoping that that'll hopefully be beneficial. Then we've got our main eventers, we've got our mid-carders. Perfect. And that's how we'll roll. So 3 storylines. Hopefully it works. I'm assuming we'll probably get penalties if it doesn't work. We're not going to give anyone the night off for this first show. I want to see what we can do with it. So first, so Wyoming is scheduled to be our first location, which it makes sense. That's where we're based. So select, use this location, booking team meeting. Literally just Pistol Pete Hall, and that's it. Let us try for a creative finish, I think. This is the new feature. It is your creative meeting, so your creative energy is used. You can use it on all these different ideas. You've got creative finish, angle idea, gimmick idea, storyline idea, and character idea. They're all very good. This one, though, this creative finish, essentially it's used in matches. This one is a bit of a gamble. So not too good. And it can only be applied to matches where Texas Hangman is set to be the victor. So it's a bit of a risk. That's what it means. These ones are probably more often than not probably gonna fail. And if you've seen my TCW live stream series so far, you'll sort of know what I mean. And yeah, we've only got another 12 points of stored energy, so we can't really do anything. Okay. The final stored amount is 62. Okay. Did I just use too much? Am I going to get penalties? I don't know. It's a system I haven't obviously used with lower down shows. Locker room incidents, none. Lovely. And then this is another new screen. So obviously it's very much the same as the previous one, but there's new options on here. So you can try and inspire, which you make a big speech to everybody. I don't think you can do it too often. There's team bonding as well. So I'm going to go team bonding. I'll show you what this option is. And as you can see here, it looks overpowered, but I don't think it is. It does strengthen all these relationships though. So yeah, pretty much everyone or nearly everyone is sort of bonding with other people backstage, which is a good thing. Very good thing. Alrighty. So no title for this show. It's going to be our first ever show, Up in Flames. And like I said, we're going to run 4 singles matches. So let's book the main event first. It's going to be Texas Hangman taking on... Who's he going to take on? Thinking Primetime Jack Pride. But then again, I also want Jack Pride to get a win. So let's go Harvey Robinfield. We'll give this one 20 minutes, as it is our best workers. They don't get penalized either, which is something I should note because of our size of company. So Texas Hangman, he's going to probably be our best face for the short term, I would imagine. Obviously, we're going to be scripting everything, slow build, and we're going to go with a clean win on that one as well. So we'll give that 20 minutes. Second singles match, going to be Primetime Jack Pride taking on Gideon Kato. Very well could actually beat that main event. We'll give that one 12 minutes. We'll give Jack Pride the win. It is going to be a tainted win though. Not going to be clean. And yeah, scripted, perfect. That works out real nice. Just check staff here. Yep, it is Coach Norman and Pistol Pete Hall. So we got a really good road agent there. That was a solid pick there for my character. Next match. I mean, we can essentially do a tag match, actually. Let's try it. Astro and Blue Dragon are going to be taking on Jules Knight and Phil Anders. Give that one 12 minutes there as well. Who gets the win, though? That's the question. I think Blue Dragon. We'll make that one clean as well. Cool. And then final match. Whoever's left. It is going to be Patterson taking on Original Sinner. I think we're going to have Patterson lose this one. Make it slightly shorter as well. And then Original Sinner is going to get a big win to kick his Rocky Mountain Wrestling career off. Bit of injustice on the previous Local to Global with Original Sinner. He was my sort of dark, occult, stable lackey. It would quite often take every pinfall. So yeah. Next thing I want to look at is who is going to do our one angle for this show. I mean, I pretty much know who I want to make it, which is Primetime Jack Pride right here. We can boost his popularity up very easily. We spam a few angles for him. It's either that or it's an Original Sinner Menace angle. So I think we'll show you the angle system here. So this is the new angle system, one of the new features I'm very, very happy with. You got quick angle here still. So I'll show you the quick angle. Obviously, that's the length of the angle you want. We've got all these new options. So you got a stare down, you got a contract signing, you got to save the day. I should go through these. So these stare downs between the workers you want to stare down. Contract signing is the workers involved in whatever feud or storyline. You got a host moderator. You got saving the day, so you got your attackers, you got your victims, and then you got your cavalry. So the workers that are going to run in and save whoever you want to save. You got a brawl. Obviously, just a lot of options there for people fighting. You got a beatdown, so you got your attackers, and you got your victims there. Simple hype video, something was my go-to pretty much on 2020. Without an actual option for having it, I used to just make an angle, and we used to just essentially pretend that it was a hype video. You got your old cutting promos. I like this, but I don't like that there's only 4 options here. Obviously, you can change these, so you can essentially bring this back to cutting a promo. So theoretically, you could have 5 people in an angle. But if you've got a big stable, you're going to have your speakers and your targets, theoretical targets, are all going to be in the same stable potentially. And then you've also got interviews. So you got your interviewer here, which could be, an announcer like a Tony Schiavone, or it could be a backstage announcer, someone like that. And then obviously interviewees, targets. You got in the ring angles, you got backstage angles, and you got outside broadcast, which is of course your angles away from the arena, which does happen quite a lot. Anyway, what we're going to be doing, we're going to be doing an in the ring promo, and it's going to be Primetime Jack Pride cutting a promo onto Hideo Kato. Simple, easy. We have Primetime. We'll write Jack Pride. Jack Pride cuts a promo on Kato, stating he's gonna beat him tonight. Perfect. And then you fill in the angle. So we're giving that one 6 minutes. You do have to change some stuff here. So what I'll do here is I'm going to copy that. I'm going to chuck that into the actual output. So when it comes up during the show, it's going to say exactly what it says there. Jack Pride. That's a promo on Kato stating he's going to beat him here tonight. But we're going to change it here. So I think it defaults to interview. I don't know why, but you do need to change it. So change it to angle, in the ring, live, generic. You got different content types, obviously. You can go serious, comedy, hype, tease. The hype is your hype videos, stuff like that. Generic's fine. You can also do one of the new features, multi-part angles. So you can create up to 5 different types of angles within the one segment, which is incredible. Such a cool feature. This is what I'm talking about. Very happy with this year's game. It's giving us a lot more creative license to do our own thing and to do, and I guess convey through the game what we actually want to happen, which I'm very happy with. Road Agent notes you can no longer spam success in storylines. As you can see here, you need a winner and you need a loser if you want someone to gain a decent amount of storyline momentum. So you got major storyline victory, regular storyline victory, and minor storyline victory. And when you have these creative ideas, they actually pop up as a further option here. And we can essentially, you know what? Let's use the one that we have. So let me save that. We'll book that. We'll chuck that before Jack Pride's match. And then let's go into here and let me show you here. So Road Agent notes, you go, is it down the bottom? Creative finish right there. Special extras right at the bottom. And you can use these creative finishes with your creative energy. So this one's a bit of a gamble, like I said. It is quite risky. And the restrictions, some of them don't have restrictions at all, but this one is restricted to Texas Hangman, where he's set to win. So he's set to be the victor in this one. Add that to the Road Agent note. And hopefully it's successful, although it probably won't be, because it is a bit of a gamble. So we'll book that. What else do we need to do? We need announcers, but as you can see, they're not necessary. So it's going to be yellow show rating, but that's perfectly fine. Spending a show of 95% matches, currently at 91%, would not be penalized. Perfect. I might even give this one an extra 2 minutes. We'll have them all be 12 minutes. And that gets us to 70. So yeah, looking pretty good. Let's run our first show here for Local to Global on TEW9. All right, so we start off with a 30 rated match. We got Original Sinner defeating Jason Patterson at 11:47 by pinfall with a chokeslam. Another new feature here, we got the crowd heat at the end of whatever segment it is. And as you can see, it is currently hot and rising. So that was a good match. Crowd rating of 1 though. In front of 58 people there in Wyoming. Interesting. Recap the gimmick. We got Jason Patterson using good old Southern Boy, initial rating of adequate, which is okay. Losses do not hurt momentum as much as usual, but unfortunately gives a large penalty to charisma during matches and angles, so don't like that. And then Disciple of Evil for Original Sinner has got an initial rating of great and is likely to rise. So yeah, good stuff. Pretty good match there. Hopefully we got better matches to come though. We then go into our tag team match, getting us a 34 rating. We have the team of Astro Boy and Blue Dragon defeating Jules Knight and Phil Anders in 11:54, when Blue Dragon pinned Jules Knight with a Dragon Driver. Then Anders was the weak link there, really off his game, and then Astro was also really off his game. Unfortunately, looking at this though, we'll recap our gimmick changes. We got Astro using Starman, getting initial rating of great, small boost to psychology. Blue Dragon, Happy Go Lucky, initial rating of great, so that's really good considering we chose that one. Unfortunately for Jules Knight, Man of 1,000 Holds gimmick, initial rating of awful. So that's terrible. That's going to be a penalty for every match he's now involved in. It is likely to rise over time though, so hopefully it can get better. It gives a small boost to charisma during matches and angles as well. Terrible. And then I accidentally got out of it, but Smug Stud gimmick there for Phil Anders, getting an initial rating of great. Actually, go back down to it. Yeah, initial rating of great, so no bonuses or penalties there. And yeah, a better match. Hopefully the next match is even better than this one. All right, we go into a 21 rated angle. Didn't script Jack Pride. Probably should have scripted him. That's one of the options in the new angle thing. But we've got Jack Pride cutting a promo onto Hideo Kato, and he states he's going to beat him here tonight on the first ever Rocky Mountain Wrestling show. So storyline advanced but lost heat as a result of the angle, and then obviously Jack Pride did not do well without a script. But we've also got Jack Pride using his primetime gimmick, getting an initial rating of great. So a lot of good angles, a lot of good gimmick ratings, and this one through an angle as well. Happy with that. We go into their match, which gets a 32. Not too bad. We've got primetime Jack Pride defeating Hideo Kato in 12:25 by pinfall while using the ropes for leverage. So Jack Pride cheating to win. Hideo Kato debuting his Raging Bull gimmick, getting an initial rating of great. Perfect. Although losses damage his popularity more than usual, so a pretty bad con there. Not too happy with that one, but it is what it is. And we move on to our main event for our first ever show, and it does very well. We get a 39 rating for this main event, and we have Texas Hangman defeating Harvey Robinfield in 20 minutes 6 seconds by pinfall with a choke slam. Very good match. Texas Hangman with a 35 in-ring. What are our gimmicks here? We got Omega Man for Harvey Robinfield, getting an initial rating of great. And Texas Hangman using the Hangman gimmick. And that's only got an initial rating of adequate, so a little bit frustrating. But is also likely to rise. Wins and losses have a greater impact on popularity changes, which is, I would say, a positive. And yeah, we finish the show off with a very solid main event. As you can see down the bottom here, the creative finish, bit of a gamble, was a success. So it actually worked out in our favor. Very nice. Let's have a look at the overall show rating here for our first show. We get a 36 for Up in Flames, our first event. And it increased our popularity in one region. So we'll finish that show there. 36 is very good, I think. No red ratings either, which I love to see. And we've got this new screen here. So we can address the locker room. We can praise a couple of workers. Let's go for Harvey and Texas. Praise both of them. Got our financial report. So again, another new feature for TW9. We get a financial report at the end of every show, which is awesome. Love it. So yeah, overall loss, $1,649 as a result of that show. That's a lot. That's a lot. We made $24 in merchandise though, so hopefully that'll go up. And that leaves our post-show finances of negative $2,359. So already in the hole. That's perfectly fine. That is literally how local to global goes. You're running into a deficit, and eventually, once you have enough fans and you're popular enough, you've got workers that are bringing in merchandise, you'll start to turn a profit, and you'll get back in the black. And this one here, this is probably one of my favorite, if not my favorite changes, is a popularity recap at the end of every show. It literally tells you in yellow where you have improved and in red where you have declined in every region across the game. So good. As you can see here, Northwest, we haven't actually gone up to 1 point yet, but it is improving as based by that yellow text there. Again, I don't know why they chose yellow. I feel like green probably would have been maybe a better option, or maybe a green if you actually go up a point in a certain region. Maybe yellow if you don't actually go up a point. I feel like that could be a better way to go about it. Either way, very happy with this change. It's perfect. Yeah. As you can see here, though, not all gains and losses are shown if they're not large enough to cause the popularity to visibly change. So this increment, whatever we got today, is enough for us to, well, for it to be shown, essentially. So I'm assuming after this month, we will actually, like after next month, for example, we will actually go up to 1 point as a result of having free tickets. So yeah, there we go. First show done and dusted. We're 2,363 in debt. Love and life. Next episode, we will crown our first ever heavyweight champion, episode 2. And hopefully we'll do 2 events for next episode. Guys, like I said, 100 likes, drop a like on the video. 100 likes, we will drop a double episode tomorrow. Episode 1 is going to be a standalone 24 hours. And then episode 2 and 3, potentially, if you guys smash the like button, will be out tomorrow. But super looking forward to this series. It's going to be really, really good. And we've got King of the Mountain up next. Looking forward to that one as well. Crown our first ever heavyweight champion. Like I said as well, guys, if you are purchasing TW9, make sure you use my link in the description below, and it will greatly help out the channel. And apart from that, as always, take it easy and goodbye.